To reach the waterfalls, hidden within the Gifford Pinchot National Forest from Oregon, you have to cross the Bridge of the Gods. But the gods are greedy and demand a toll of exactly
$3.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Welcome to Wanderlust MAX. I myself was welcomed to Washington with a giant moth to the face, which bounced off of my face and into the fire, the largest moth I've ever seen.
We're at Lower Falls Campground, Southwest Washington, in between Mount St. Helens and Mount Adams. Now this is a campsite. Apparently the falls are very close. You can hear the Lewis River. I've been drinking cold brew for the last hour, eating cereal.
Deep pools and shallow wide water lure many into peaceful play above the falls. Swift water, slick rocks, and steep drops are dangerous. It's true, danger lurks around every corner in the forests of Southwest Washington, and people don't seem to care. The warnings are ignored so often that the Park Service has given up trying to communicate with humans and now installs signage addressed directly to the animals. The Lewis River Trail boasts 3 main waterfalls: lower, middle, and upper, with a few lesser waterfalls in between. The trail is very narrow, however. I was unlucky enough to find myself on the tail of a group of about 20 people, 3 dogs, and a team of oxen. Could not make it around them. Every so often they'd turn their heads and cast disparaging looks back at me, so I stopped off the trail, waited, but when I hopped back on the trail, there they were. So I decided to wait them out near a peaceful section of the Lewis River where the underwater view reminds me of a polar bear exhibit you might find at the zoo. Another mile and a half upstream lie the Middle Lewis River Falls, which spread out over a broad bedrock sheet and then crash sideways into a trough, half of the falls plunging straight down and half sliding down the bedrock. From one end to the other, the falls are almost 300 feet wide. The trailside view of the falls, while interesting, doesn't allow the best vistas, so climbing out on the wet rocks next to the river is necessary. It's safe, but can be slick, and the river is very deep immediately below the falls. The trail continues and leads you alongside a stretch of palisades, with trees precariously looming overhead. Old-growth trees are plentiful within this forest. An ancient Douglas fir tree caught my eye, demanding I pay tribute to its majesty. As I approached the most isolated of the three main waterfalls in the trail, I passed a group of people whose leader met my glance and uttered a single word: "Enjoy." I thanked him as he seemed to be relinquishing the waterfall to me, a gesture I appreciate, as it's always a bonus to have a waterfall all to yourself for a little while. Here, the Lewis encounters a strangely squared chunk of basalt and flows out over the flat rock, allowing a small portion of the river to plunge a sheer 58 feet over the cliff. But the majority of the water gathers in a narrow trough and stair steps to the pool below. Where's a toboggan when you need one? It was getting late in the evening, but I couldn't resist the urge to continue up the trail for a chance at one more amazing view. I'm glad I did. This vantage point offers a unique perspective of the loud and tumultuous action behind the scenes atop Upper Lewis River Falls. Ah yes, deviled ham and crackers. A camping tradition that always hits the spot.
Beautiful morning. Slept like a baby. Not even sure exactly what I'm going to do today, but I'm sure it'll be fun.
My first stop was at the Curly Creek Falls Trail, which promises views of two waterfalls and is also on the Lewis River Waterfall Corridor. The short trail fulfills its promise of two waterfalls, but only from a far-off perspective across the canyon. I didn't bring my binoculars, so I tried my best to find a way down for a closer look, but all of the options seemed far too dangerous, so I continued beyond the end of the trail and decided to chill out on the Lewis and plan my next move. Just so we're clear, unlike nearby
Lewis
County and Fort
Lewis,
the
Lewis
river was not named for Meriwether,
Lewis
but rather for A. Lee,
Lewis.
an early colonizer who homesteaded near the mouth of the river. Current is strong. I don't know what our Forest Service representatives are up to when they come out to these secluded sections of the river, but I wish they wouldn't leave behind panties or large hunks of jagged metal out in the middle of the river for me to pick up, yo. My next stop was to visit nearby Falls Creek Falls, but on the way I stopped off at McClellan Overlook to use the loo and get a view of Mount St. Helens. Was there enough daylight left to hike the 3 miles to see Falls Creek Falls? I didn't think so. But I had Arturo's words in my head as I pulled up to the foreboding trailhead.
These are the biggest crows I've ever seen. They had like a 4-foot wingspan. Sat down here to put some socks on. Was feeling a stinging sensation. Fire ants crawling all over me. Yowza. Whew. This trail is hardcore.
There is a fork in the trail, but don't let the sign confuse you. If you want to see the falls, don't take the Falls Creek Trail. Bedraggled by the ragged trail, I strolled up to the waterfall and met a dog, who barked at me in greeting.
Like waterfalls, do you?
Asked the dog.
Well, how about seeing one with rainbows dancing around in it?
I was like, Falls Creek Falls not only falls, but also churns, cascades, rushes, and flows.
It's hard to walk away. It's so good. Okay. The footing could be treacherous. All right, made it back to the trailhead in record time. Ran most of the way with a giant stick. Man, that was an awesome hike. Until next time.
Thanks for watching Wanderlust MAX. And don't forget to slow down from time to time, even if it means driving down a dirt road at 3 miles per hour.